Hey Pitmasters, what is up? Today we're going to be making pork leg steaks. So as always, the first thing that we're going to do is fire up our barbecue. We'll put in 2 of these fire starters, light them up, put in some big block. Now look at this cut of pork that we have. It's basically a slice of pork leg, like this. They cut out a section and look at that. We're going to treat it as a steak. We're going to be grilling it hot and fast, so we got a nice crust on the outside. Then we're going to slowly let it come up to temperature. And of course, we need something to go with that. I want a savory sauce to go with it, so we're going to cut up this onion and then we're going to fry it. Next to the onion, we're also going to put in carrots. Carrots are really sweet and tasty, so that's going to work real well. Now I want to slice this fine because we don't have a long cooking time. Now the star of this sauce is going to be our mushrooms. We got a lot of mushrooms in here, different types. This is basically like a melange that you can buy at the supermarket here. So whatever you can get your hands on, shiitake is great, chestnut mushrooms, or just ordinary mushrooms is fine as well. I already love the smell of these mushrooms. Our charcoal is getting up to temperature, so it's time to put it in our grill and heat up our pan. I'm just going to add a little bit more charcoal. I'm going to put it in the back of the grill. So when this charcoal is burning down, it's moving to the back of the grill. Let's put the grill grate back on. I'm going to set it to a low position. Now we'll put on our pan, let that come up to temperature, and we'll put in a little bit of butter. And of course, when I say a little bit, I don't mean a little bit, I mean around 50 grams or so. We got to keep our eye on our butter. We don't want it to burn. When it starts melting, we're going to put in our onion and our carrots. This is starting to smell good. The flavors are starting to fill up the studio. It's going to be tasty already. Let's put in these mushrooms. Of course, we need a little bit of garlic as well. We'll put that in, stir it up. You can see the mushrooms are soaking up all that flavor. The butter, the onions, and all the juice that's coming out of the carrots. That's fantastic. We need to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Now I got a mushroom stock here. That's going to work really well with the ingredients that we already have in the pan. I'm going to put a bit of maizena cornstarch into this bowl with water. I'm just going to mix that up. Now I'm putting this in the bowl first, and that is to prevent it to lump up. We'll add this to our sauce. Then we'll let our sauce reduce until it's almost soaked up by the ingredients that are in there. This is what we're looking for. Now we got the consistency that we want. We can't reduce it any further. The only thing that we're going to do is take it off the grill now and then heat it up when we're ready to use it. Now it's time to start working on our pork. Of course, we need to get this out of the package. There's a lot of fluid in there. Look at this thing, it's a giant. I'm always excited when the cuts of meat are getting bigger and bigger. We got the skin on this side. So the question is, do we take it off or leave it on? What I'm thinking is, we're leaving it on. Of course, we're not going to eat the skin in this situation because it's not going to crunch up enough for us to be eating. But it does a good job of holding this cut of meat together. We're just going to pat this dry. I want a little bit of oil in there just to make sure it doesn't stick to the grill grate. All I want is a quick sear, and when we've created a beautiful crust, I'm going to move it over to the indirect side. Of course, we want to put a little bit of flavor on there, so I'm going to put my rub on it, and that rub is going to pull out the juices from the meat and it's going to blend together really well. Now we'll close the lid and slowly let the pork come up to temperature. I'm just checking the temperature of our pork steak, making sure that we got the right core temperature, and this is around 67 degrees Celsius. We're almost there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to melt our cheese. I got a beautiful French cheese. Now we're going to put this on the grill together with our pork. We're also going to put our pan back on so the sauce is coming back up to temperature. So the meat is ready to come off the grill right now. I'm just going to move it over to this cutting board. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that looks. This turned out even crispy. So maybe after all we can still use that skin. But for now we're just gonna let it rest for at least 20 minutes. Our piece of meat has been resting long enough. We're going to move it over to our plate. Now let's take a look at our sauce. Yes, that's back up to temperature again. Perfect. Hey, look at that cheese. It's nice and bubbly. It's ready to melt over that meat. Let's get this stuff on. I know this is going to taste good. I tasted the sauce, which is fantastic. The cheese is really fantastic. And our pork. And all together it's going to be magical. At least I hope so. Let's slice it open. Nice crunch on that skin. Let's take off that skin and see if we can eat that, because it's actually crispened up. Yeah. Can't eat that. So like we expected, we're not going to be eating that skin, and we kept it on just to make sure that we kept that pork together. We treated it like a steak, so nothing lost here. Now let's slice into this cut, which we're really excited about. Let's put all these beautiful ingredients back on. There we go. Now we want to do a proper taste test. And I'm so curious as how this turned out. There we go. That's freaking good. I love that combination. Of course, like we expected, this is not the most tender cut that there is. It's part of the leg. It's a muscle that works really hard, so it's kind of tough. But if you slice it thin, you could put all these beautiful ingredients on top. It's like a beautiful steak. There's so much flavor in there. And the pairing of the dishes, you know, the sauce that we put on, the cheese that we put on, and it tastes so good. It's fantastic. It's actually a really cheap cut, so if you can find it, that will be epic. Give this recipe a try for sure. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave me a big thumbs up and a comment down below. I would love to know how you guys would treat a cut of pork like this. Would you treat it like a steak, like I just did, or would you do a low and slow with it? I want to say a big thank you to everyone that's supporting our channel, either through Patreon or right here with our membership on YouTube. Thank you guys, see you guys next time. Until then, eet smakelijk and keep on grilling.